Hello, I'm Mark Baer. You're watching YourTown TV. I'm with Shirley Millico from Community Services, and she's in charge of Safe Place, Safe Passage. Welcome.
Hello.
So
Good
Safe
morning.
Place, Safe Passage, youth on the street, runaways.
Safe Place is actually comprised of the Basic Center and street outreach programs. The Basic Center provides outreach and crisis intervention for runaway and homeless youth or youth that are at risk of running away. We also provide emergency shelter for youth that are 17 years old and under. So we have 2 crisis resolution host homes, which are ran by licensed foster care
And where are you
parents.
located?
We are located on Pearl Street, 590 Pearl Street in Monterey. So other services that are like our street outreach program provides the street-based services. So that could be everything from all your basic needs, food or snack bags, first aid, hygiene bags, clothing, referrals, and information about other resources that would be helpful and supportive for our homeless youth.
So let's just give people a sense of what's going on the street, because it's so easy to be blind to this. This is a very easy issue not to see, and there are a lot of kids on the street.
There are, in fact, it's well documented that there is a great need for a program like Safe Place, which is actually very unique in that it really is the only comprehensive youth program available for runaway and homeless youth, or like I said, youth that are at risk of running away or becoming homeless in Monterey County. The 2017 homeless census really clearly defined that, in that there were 598 homeless youth that were reported. 201 of those were unaccompanied youth. So that's youth that are under the age of 18 that we have right here in Monterey County. That's like a 121% increase from 2015. So the problem is not going away. It's actually increased.
It's getting bigger.
Absolutely. So there is a great need to, have a program like Safe Place, but also for the community to really rally around and take notice of this issue and provide the support that these youth need, because we have youth that are being exploited, whether that be through human trafficking, or other types of exploitation on the street. And these are young, vulnerable, these are kids, these are young kids.
So who are these, and what's the public perception that's wrong here? And what was surprising to you about what's on the street?
I think the biggest misconception would be that these are youth that are delinquents, if you will, that chose to run away from home, that may not want to follow the law, or are just running amok in our community or in society. The truth is that for more than half of our youth, they're actually running from a really volatile situation, whether that be severe family conflict, there might be abuse happening at home, and a lot of times they're running from something that was really unsafe for them, so they're running away from that. And choosing the street as a lifestyle is not as glamorous as one may think. Every day it's about being hyper vigilant on how you're going to keep yourself safe, where you're going to sleep, what you're going to eat, and so a lot of the kids come together in groups because that's a way for them to stay safe. It becomes a family of their own because they have been either thrown out of the house, asked to leave, or like I said, they fled from a really dangerous situation. So it's not this that they just don't want to assimilate to what, the folks that aren't homeless are doing. It's that they are trying to survive a dangerous, situation.
What do you, with safe place, safe passage? What services are you providing, and kind of what are your goals for these kids?
Well, Safe Place, like I said, we have our Basic Center and Street Outreach programs, both of which are providing, outreach and crisis intervention, individual and family counseling. We have lots of groups that we offer runaway and homeless youth. And, of course, a really important component is that we're providing food and clothing and hygiene and first aid bags and things like that they need. So their basic needs are able to be met. We have a drop-in center during the day, so youth can visit the drop-in, where not only are they getting their basic needs met, but they're also have access to computers, to counseling. We help them with everything from helping them with a resume to prepare them for a job interview. We encourage them to either, if they haven't graduated from high school, to help them get their GED, or perhaps they're interested in college. They have a goal of, maybe becoming a nurse or a doctor, or so we encourage them to go to college. We get them lined up with counselors at either CSUMB or MPC. We've had several youth that have returned to college or have started attending college for the first time ever, which is great. We're helping them, like I said, prepare them for employment, job training. So several of our youth have become employed. And also trying to help them with finding a safe, stable environment for them to live.
Yeah, I assume that when you're on the street, you don't want to stay on the street.
No.
I imagine that gets old pretty quick.
So, they've really evolved as far as how to help youth. There are programs that provide shelter. However, we have the coordinated entry, which is a process where they participate in a housing assessment, if you will. So that puts them in the pool of youth that are needing housing. A lot of times youth will stay with a relative or a friend. Like I said, for youth that are under the age of 18 that need kind of a respite away from maybe family conflict that's going on, we do have the option of putting them in a crisis resolution host home. So they can stay up to 21 days. Mm-hmm. So they're off the street. And of course the goal would be to reunify them with the family, if that's possible. And if it's not, then we're going to do our best to try to find another safe living alternative for them.
How young are some of these kids?
We have youth that are as young as 11.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
And in that case, when they're minors, of course, we do need to have the consent of the parent or parents or the caregiver. Again, we really encourage the family counseling is really important, because we want to see the youth reunified with that family. And, if that's not going to happen, then definitely have a backup plan so that they don't end up on the street. It's a lot harder once they are on the street to get off the street. And they are much more vulnerable to being victimized or exploited once they are on the street. If I'm correct, it's within the first 48 hours that a youth could be approached by a predator, potential trafficker. That's something that's a growing issue and concern, not just here in our community, but but
elsewhere.
everywhere.
But it is happening here
It
in our,
is
you know, we
happening.
have this idyllic community and so much is invisible.
Well, this is a beautiful area.
Yeah.
And it's a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
So we have all these wonderful things happening in Monterey, and so it brings a lot of people here, which also, you know, makes it much more of a risk for youth that are on the street, because they can fall victim to exploitation by a lot of people that may be traveling in. So that's something that we really try to inform, educate our youth about, the risks involved, and do our best to get them off the street.
So let's cover a couple of things. If you're watching this, and what are your organizational needs that just a viewer can be of help? What are your needs?
Volunteering is a wonderful way to get involved, to really get to gain a better understanding of what youth homelessness is, what a homeless youth looks like. But volunteering helps our program in that there's lots of things that we do every day that just organizing and cleaning, and we have lots of youth traveling in and out all day. Donations, we welcome donations. Clothing is a really important for our youth, because whether they're getting ready to go out on a job interview, or a lot of times they don't have access to showers. But we do provide showers. But some youth that haven't bathed in a long time or whatever, so we can get them a change of clothes. Like I said, the hygiene and first aid, the basic needs. So donations are really important. That really help us a lot.
Okay.
Basic needs. In fact, we do have a basic needs drive that is happening right now. I believe it started this month, November, which is also the National Runaway Prevention Awareness Month. So we have donation boxes at certain locations throughout Monterey County that we're trying to get, like jackets and just everything, jackets, other types of clothing, canned goods, things like that the youth can use.
So now if you're on the street, how are kids finding out about you?
We provide a lot of outreach. The Basic Center provides outreach a lot of times within the schools, the local schools, different organizations and businesses. Our street outreach counselors canvass all of the greater Monterey Peninsula. So we're always out there looking for runaway and homeless youth, educating and providing resource information about our program to board members, educators, local businesses, everywhere. So we really try to we canvass all of the greater Monterey Peninsula, really spreading the word about what Safe Place is. And the youth, it's word of mouth a lot of times that they'll hear about Safe Place. And so we have youth that will stop by and say, oh, well, I heard this was a place where I could get some help. There are businesses throughout Monterey County that have the yellow and black decal that says Safe Place. So that is a National Safe Place site. So they know that they can go in and ask for help, and that organization will contact us, and we'll be able to, meet that youth wherever they are and provide them with the support and services that they need.
So these are our kids. So this is really a whole community project.
It really does take a village.
It does, and it can't be just left. You're doing your work, but it can't just be you alone. So just the awareness that this is going on, that this is even a problem. It's so easy not to see this.
It's easy to turn a blind eye. or to quickly judge.
Yeah, the judgment that comes with
You
this.
know, that, oh, those darn kids, and what are they doing? They're just running amok. But the truth is, these are some incredibly amazing young individuals, and we have many success stories. I try not to focus so much on the negative. There's a lot of hardship and challenges, of course, and they face a lot of adversity. But they, you know, with support and encouragement, we have seen some great things happen. Like I said, a lot of our youth are getting jobs, going back to school, reunifying with family members. Those are really important.
So so a lot of you're saying a lot of this is there's external problems that cause kids to be there. It's not that they're just so dysfunctional that they end up on the street. It's not just personal dysfunction.
No, and like I said, I believe a lot of what we've found is that severe family conflict is a primary issue, but also, you know, economic problems and residential, like, instability. You know, these are really difficult times. Affordable housing.
Yes.
You know, the question is who's going to rent to, you know, an 18, 20-year-old youth who's working at a fast food restaurant?
Yeah, you know, how are they going to afford the rent?
Exactly.
Anywhere here? You
so
know?
I mean, that's a really big issue right now. Is that even if they're working full time, finding a place to live that's safe and secure, that they can afford here in this area is
Tough.
Is way tough.
Okay, one more time, give us the website, because we're winding down here.
Well, we do have our CHS, Community Human Services website, but we have our CHS Safe Place Facebook page too. So we post, you know, things that are happening, you know, weekly, monthly. We post a lot of pictures of our youth during breakfast, because we do have our drop-in breakfast, and there's a lot of services that we provide. I feel like there's so many that I'm probably not mentioning that really make our program unique. And we also, I want to say that we also provide an emergency overnight shelter for youth 18 to 24. So that's open every night at 7 p.m. Our upstairs drop-in converts into an emergency shelter. So we can provide 12 homeless youth a mat and a pillow, a snack or a hot meal, and a safe and warm place to sleep. So those, you know, that's 12 youth that are off the street, and we know that are safe. And two, with Safe Passage, which is actually located a few doors down from Safe Place, that is our supportive living program. So we can house up to 6 residents, and they actually live there for an extended period of time. And so we're helping them to become, you know, self-sufficient, independent adults, so that when they exit the program, that, you know, they're going to be gainfully employed and be able to be, you know, an independent, productive member of the community. Right.
Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm Mark Baer. We've been talking to Shirley Millico, Safe Place, Safe Passage. This is something, if you want to volunteer for an organization, I really recommend that you check this out. They're doing great work, and this is important work, and I'm just so impressed with people like you who are doing this.
Well,
so anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Anyway, you're watching Your Town, and we'll be back.